Welcome back, CMB Sports Show. I'm your host, Braylon Brakefield. With me, my co-host and good friend, Cole Lepschitz. Cole, what's up?
What's up, man? Dude, this is like my favorite part of the week. I
Oh,
don't think
yeah.
I have a better part of the week than this moment right now.
We got a pretty cool order list, I guess you would say, a list, top 10. And
Yeah, list.
we've talked about it basically all week. Like, I think I brought it up one day last week, and we've just been talking about it since then. Top 10 list of your dream podcast guest. So, top 10 people we would want to get on here and interview and just chop it up with. Honestly, I sat down to make this list, and like, I type everything on my notes or write everything down. As soon as I text you
Same.
the thing, I just started typing away in my notes. I had like 16 names in probably 2 minutes, and then I just started organizing them. Getting in order was probably the toughest part, honestly.
Yeah, I honestly, like, full disclosure, I don't know if mine are actually in order. Like, it was just like a list of my heroes. You know what I mean? It was like as they came to mind, and then I tried to order them properly, but I don't want them to take anything personal if you're a little bit lower than you hope to be. Which I would hope all these guys would. I hope that these guys hope that they're number one on my list. You know what I mean? Because I'm a nobody. But sometimes you just you slip to some really great dudes. So nothing personal if you feel like you should be higher.
Yeah, I mean, I have 5 guys on my honorable mentions that I thought were locks to be on the list. Like, I
Same,
just thought we're guaranteed to be on there.
100%.
Well, I say we go ahead and get into that. I say we start with number one and go from number one down.
I'm with that. I'm
So
with that.
I'll let you start it off with your number one.
Yeah, man. So this guy, I've kind of I've gotten to know this guy through podcasts mostly. I watched his stand up on Netflix, I think, or somewhere. I watched it somewhere. I think Netflix. But he's a comedian. He's really just a deep thinker. Really, I can't remember what the word is for it. I don't know, man. He's just full of thought. You watch his podcast, let's do his podcast once, your life's changed forever. His name's Theo Vaughn. He's from Louisiana. He's known as the Rat King, and I love him. I think he's my favorite human right now. He has like a weird, like super complex, but like in a simple way outlook on life. And like he could just break down any situation into where anybody could understand it, and he's also hilarious while doing that. So I feel like I can relate to him pretty good, and I think that's like his special thing. Like he's super honest guy, super cool. So I think he would be an awesome podcast guest. I feel like we could all relate to him pretty closely.
We had some internet issues right there, but I think we're still good.
What the heck?
It's probably just all me. But yeah, I listen to Theo Von podcast a good bit. He's hilarious. Like, and you see his clips all the time on TikTok. He has an argument to be the funniest guy on the planet right now. And like, I saw one. It was actually like yesterday, the day before, and it was with Drewski. And he asked Drewski, "Did you ever meet Michael Jackson?" And Drewski's like, no, I was like 10 when he died." And he was like, "Well, that would have been the time to meet him." It's like so serious.
He's like he's not scared to like make that funny, like cross a or get like right up next to a boundary to make a funny joke. Like it's just
He
I don't know,
crosses
man.
the
And like
lines, and it's like he gets a
dude,
pass because just everybody
yeah,
loves him.
he gets a pass, and like he has like a complex like background, so it's like he gets a double pass almost. You know what I mean? Like he's just a funny dude, and he has a lot of funny friends too that he has on his show, or he goes on like he's been on Rogan a couple times. It's been awesome. Like they just kind of feed off each other. I don't know, man. He's a cool dude. I just think he's so funny. He's got that mullet and he just rocks it so seriously, like non-ironic mullet.
Yeah, it's just
I feel like a lot of
he's had it forever.
some dudes, yeah, some dudes rock the mullet to rock the mullet, but like some dudes rock the mullet because that's like what they think looks good, and I think that's what he does. Like it's not ironic, you know what I mean? He's not trying to be trendy. Like that's just him. He's just Louisiana.
He's
Theo
Joe Dirt.
Vaughn.
He's
Just
real life
goat.
Joe Dirt.
Facts. And it's even better because he's best friends with David Spade. That's what makes it 10 times better. That's like his best friend.
Well, my number one, I just find this guy fascinating. I have no idea about him. Like, I would just want to get him in here and just really try to work him and find out. It's Froggy Fresh.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
he is hands down the greatest rapper alive. There is no competition, no comparison there.
No comparison.
But there's also a chance he's the greatest actor of all time. Because if he's not, he deserves an Oscar for the way he's acted the last however many years. If he is, then he just has one of the greatest brains on the planet.
This man has thrown me for a loop. I think he could be a UFC. He could do it all. He could do it all. He could be a comedian. All right. He's been on a funny TV show. Rapper. And also some kind of fighter, boxer / UFC. I'm not sure.
He's jacked now. Crushing the TikTok game.
I'm pretty sure he's two different rappers as well. He's Froggy Fresh and someone else.
What do you mean?
I've seen clips of his raps like that aren't Froggy Fresh. Like he's got multiple personalities.
Oh.
I
Well, he
can't
was,
remember that dude's name. That was like back in the day when he was on Tosh.
He was Krispy Kreme for a while. Then he got the copyright strike. So then he went to Froggy Fresh. And then he went to, I'm blanking on what his real name is right now. But that's what he goes
Tyler
by
Cassidy.
now. Yeah, Cassidy. That's what he goes by now on TikTok. But still, just one of the Daniel Tosh interview is one of the funniest things on the internet.
Oh, it's great. It's great. And what bothers me the most, it probably bothers me more than the China surveillance balloon or whatever, is that Krispy Kreme actually made him change his name.
Yeah,
that's messed up, dude. I mean, that's free advertisement.
He wasn't hurting anybody.
I would go eat Krispy Kreme every day because of that, man. And you make him change his name. And then Froggy's just in Hayden just spontaneously closes forever. What's going on here? What kind of collusion is this? I don't like it.
All right, you're number two.
Number two, I just respect this man a lot. He's brought me a lot of joy over the years. Probably the last, honestly, I don't even know how many years. Probably like 12, 13. I'm not sure how long he's been the coach of the Crimson Tide. But Nick Saban, I feel like he's made my childhood great, my teenhood great, my adulthood great. I feel like he's just, I remember when he got hired on, like the next day we went to Hibbett's in Gardendale and they had a Saban Nation shirt and Mom still wears it like every game day. It says Saban Nation on the front. It's awesome. And I feel like that's what it's been. I mean, he's just that guy. I just want to pick his brain, even if it was off the record. I mean, podcast, no podcast, cameras, no cameras, whatever. Just to shake his hand and get to talk to him, kind of see how he ticks would be just awesome because I feel like he's one of a kind.
Yeah, I would love to get him on here and just try to figure out how he got away with cheating for so long, like how he did it, because he's the only one that was able to do it for so long and just never get caught, to where people don't even question it. They're like, well, if they were cheating for that long, they would have been caught. We know they were.
Yeah.
How were they never caught?
I mean,
They should have been the one team being
you're
questioned.
You're gonna sit here and tell me the NCAA is not going after? I mean, they're going after anybody and anybody, and they're not going after the multi-time champ. You know what I mean? Like, they're looking at him. He's like, nah, man, nothing to see here, Chief.
He must be unreal.
I'm not saying they were cheating, but like, they didn't offer Cam Newton any money like Auburn did, but
Auburn didn't either.
Because that's not what I'm hearing, but
they took that to trial, and Auburn didn't offer him any money.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he just took Auburn over Mississippi, 6 figures over Mississippi State, but I mean, that makes sense.
Well, he won a national title at Auburn.
I mean, from the rosters, he probably could have done it at Mississippi State too. Probably pretty much the same roster.
I don't know. Auburn has a practice field.
That's just what I hear. That's just what I hear. But no, I think that I just want to hear Nick Saban's process. You know what I mean? Why oatmeal cream pies? Why not? Why not the strawberry shortcakes? Why Levi Garrett? You know what I mean? Why not Stokers or whatever that
Red Man.
Yeah, the Red Man or something. You know what I mean?
I feel like if you could like give him some truth serum and make him talk, like get him like 8 beers and some truth serum, he would probably be one of the best podcast guests of all time. If just normal Nick Saban walked in here, that'd be probably like one of the most boring podcasts of all time. Just as a personality, like if you didn't know anything about him,
because
it would suck.
He's got that wall up.
Yes, if we were like with our audience, it would probably be the most clicks. We'd probably break the internet because everybody in our community would click and listen because it's Saban. But people outside would never listen to Saban in an interview.
Yeah, I mean, you get the same thing. I mean, he's Crash Davis. You know what I mean? He's I'm all about 2-0 fastballs, and I'm 4-3. I'm blitzing on third down. You know what I mean? Like, he's all about gap protection. But I want to get behind that wall. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if we could get behind
the wall, I want to see what was it like living with Belichick's parents. That's what I want to know. What'd you learn? What kind of special sauce does Belichick's parents carry in their basement that gives you the defensive mind? That's what I want to know. What kind of water's coming through those pipes?
Well, my number 2, this guy would just have loads of stories. Mine's Stone Cold Steve Austin. For a 3-year span, there was nobody more famous on the planet than Stone Cold Steve Austin. And all he did was wrestle. He's as good as they get on the mic. He would just have stories and stories and stories. And he has a podcast, and it is awesome, too, just hearing him break things down. So I would love to get him on here and just kick it with Steve Austin. That would be like I would have serious butterflies if he got on here.
Yeah, that'd be a cool guy to take the B-dubs too. You know what I mean? The vibe at B-dubs is already through the roof. Imagine Steve Austin walks in the door with you. What kind of vibe do you think that is?
Yeah, I feel like you just pull up a lawn chair and a old Wrigley cooler slap full of Busch Light in the garage, and I feel like he's set.
Oh yeah,
he don't need anything else. Oh yeah, he's good to go
for sure. The only thing he's asking, man, where's the bathroom? Where's that other beer at? That's it. You know what I mean? He's going to tell you all about his life, and that's awesome. That's awesome. A good one. I feel like he could really get deep with you too once you get that wall down. I feel like that's what podcasting is all about, getting that wall down.
Yeah.
Getting them to open up. That's what it's all about.
That would be great.
This dude, for my number 3, this dude's got probably 20 different walls you got to get down because he's got about 20 different voices he can do. And then all those voices got personalities. It's Frank Caliendo. If you don't know who he is, look him up. If you do know who he is, dap me up because this dude's really cool. He's been on ESPN a couple times. He does a great John Gruden. He does a great John Madden. He does a really good Jim Rome. He does a good Mel Kiper Jr. I mean, he does about anybody you could think of. He does a great Morgan Freeman. I mean, he's just an impersonator, a comedian, really cool guy. He goes live on TikTok a couple times. I've gotten him to shout me out a couple times by doing a Jim Rome impression, which is phenomenal. So that's like the highlight of my life. So yeah, Frank Caliendo would be awesome. Not even, I wouldn't even ask him about his impressions. I would just like, how do you like? I don't even know. Like, do you even know what you sound like? Because he does so many voices so well. Do you know what yourself sounds like?
Yeah, he's basically
Crazy.
just like impersonating Frank Caliendo. Basically, like he's never himself. That's an underrated talent that would be just the coolest party trick. Somebody just say, do Obama, and you just snap into Obama. Jim Rome, snap into that. Just whoever you can think of, he can do it.
I mean, anybody. And the fact that he can do Morgan Freeman, which is so like specific. It's such like a distinct voice. And he does it so perfectly. It's great. It's awesome.
My number 3, the greatest shortstop to ever play the game. The reason I've always worn number 2, Derek Jeter. You got
great
the
one.
rings. You know, one of the greatest winners of our lifetime. Kind of like the last chosen one for the Yankees, the captain, the rings, the girls, all of it. Like, if you want to talk about the most like impressive stat there is, look up Derek Jeter's ex-girlfriends. There's a list.
Oh, yeah.
When there's Miss Universes getting left out of the top 10,
yeah,
I think there was a 3-year span he dated Miss Universe 3 different years. Like, another girl wins Miss Universe, he breaks up with the other one and starts dating her. Like, he is, and now he's settled down. He's a girl dad, married to one of the prettiest people on the planet.
Oh yeah.
Like, how does he do this? He's the GOAT.
He's the GOAT in a couple different ways. Like, it's the Riz, you know what I mean? As the kids would say, it's the Riz. To be in New York as just a dude from Michigan and to own New York, like, that's just I don't even know how he does it. He shaved his head bald and just owned it. I mean, he's been on Seinfeld. Like, not many dudes have been on Seinfeld. It's only a select few. He's one of them. I feel like that's just the ownership of New York itself. And then, like, to own, I mean, how many rings did he win? 4 or 5?
5, I think.
It's ridiculous, man. And all these, you know what? I got a message for you, Derek Jeter haters. Why? He's overrated fielding? Okay. Count them rings.
He's 6th all
He's
time.
a leader
in
of
hits.
men.
There
He's a leader of men.
5 people to ever exist to have more hits than Derek Jeter. 5.
That's it. And you're going to talk about fielding?
The
And he's a leader of
defensive
men. Not men, a city. Get out of here, man.
He owned
Don't
New
talk to
York.
me. If you don't like Derek Jeter, don't talk to me. If you don't
Agreed.
think he's the best shortstop of all time, don't talk to me.
Agreed.
Unfollow me.
That's one of those things. You ever see the meme where it's like, it shows the long typed out message and it's like, who are you defending like that? It's Derek Jeter.
Derek Jeter.
I'll fight that to my grave.
He's in my favorite movie of all time. The Other Guys.
Yeah. Shot a
He's in there.
biracial-
He got
what do you call him,
shot.
a biracial
He took a
angel?
bullet. He's a biracial angel. Should have shot A-Rod.
Yeah. Just the GOAT. Jeter's the GOAT.
He's awesome, man.
I mean, I got
He's
his
awesome,
jersey
man.
is literally right here.
Yeah. I mean, what more do you want? I have his jersey in my closet. You know, I'll go get it.
I'm not going to say anything while he's gone.
let it melt.
Just let it marinate.
Let it marinate.
He'll be back. I got Jeter, a 3X Ichiro Suzuki, a Dale Earnhardt figurine.
Dude,
And that's
it's
it.
on deck. You see the number?
There it is. No last name on it either, because you already know. That's a spring training
You,
jersey. That's it.
you already know, baby. On deck. Sorry, I got my cords mixed up in my wheels over here. It's fine. We'll just roll like this.
Cause a house fire.
No, we're straight. I mean, yeah. He's that guy. He's that guy.
So you're number 4 after Caliendo.
So after Frank Caliendo, this is like just I just wanted to explain myself on my list a little bit right here, because this is where we really dive in deep. Frank Caliendo is one of my heroes, but this is where we dive into like one of my inspirations. You know what I mean? He's one of the guys that I look up to growing up. It's like a guy I want to be. And it's Dan Uggla. 5'6", probably 260 pounds of just straight muscle. Hits for power, hits for average. Didn't do it for an extremely long time, but did it for 2 great franchises. Really got one franchise kind of started up going after, some early success with the Marlins. He kind of was like one of their premier guys. But he was a guy that could hit. He played second base. He was short and stocky, was really strong, hit for power, made good defensive plays. And he was just a guy I looked up to all the time. So I'd really just want to like get him on here, and I'd probably just say thank you, for breaking the mold. Short and stocky guys can play second base. You know what I mean? It's not just for, great defenders or only hitters. It's probably him and Robbie Cano I would put in the same conversation, which some may disagree with. But, to those people, I would tell them to shut up.
Yeah, this is Dan Uggla is that's the peak of mine and Cole's friendship. Like, it doesn't. There aren't 2 people that love Dan Uggla more than the 2 guys right here on this podcast.
There's nobody.
And it's just, he was just the guy. Like, you could keep Brandon Phillips, one of the best defensive players we've seen.
Keep him.
Have Hanley Ramirez. Everybody. Give me Dan Uggla.
Give me Dan Uggla.
Just in the Braves' darkest moment in their franchise, there was one shining star, and it was Dan Uggla.
Dan Uggla and a very young Freddie Freeman.
Yeah.
That's it. And it kept me a Braves fan for the rest of my life.
Yeah, that's
because Dan Uggla was one of my favorite players.
That's scary
when he was with the Marlins.
To be growing up in that age. Why would you pick the Braves at that point? Dan Uggla. That was the only reason.
Uggla. Dude, he was so big at that point. Like, he was big with the Marlins, right? He was jacked. But he was so jacked with the Braves that, like, every time he dove, you thought he was going to pop. It was like SpongeBob with the blow-up arms. That's what it felt like. And he dove a lot because he was very, like, low-key athletic.
Oh, yeah. His forearms were big enough to the point to where, like, you didn't want to be the guy behind him to go open the pickle jar because you had no chance. You better get out the wrench and some warm water. When he puts a lid on something, you're not getting it off. That's it.
You're not getting it. But, hey, if he puts that water spigot on that water hose, it ain't coming off. Yeah, you're going to have to get a new hose.
You're selling it with the house.
You're selling it with the house.
He'd probably
it's over.
Give you a one of them Indian arm burn things, and your whole arm would just turn to ashes. Like, it would just be sparks flying off that thing.
Bro, you're looking like one of them victims from you're looking like Pompeii, like from the volcano where they just were, just in the lava. That's your arm.
Yeah.
He's got the effects of lava. He's like lava man or whatever.
And
Shark boy and lava girl.
his neck was big enough, you would never be able to choke him out. Like,
dude, and his last name had 2 G's in it. That's the most important part here.
It really is. And it started with a U. It starts with a U and then went double G. That's bold.
I mean, that's a bold name.
That's a stout name. Starting with
Ugla. I mean, that's
firm.
G. Dude, that's crazy.
My number 4, since we're talking about just peak athleticism with Dan Ugla, I'm going with the GOAT, Dave Portnoy. This guy built an empire. It started the greatest Little League baseball player you've ever seen. Won a state title. And then he transformed into a guy starting his own paper company, basically, with the news. Just like he started Barstool as a newspaper, and he just passed it out himself. Like 20 years ago.
Out of a van, bro.
He bought a van, quit his job, bought a van, and started printing his own newspaper. Like, that's crazy.
How do you even do that?
He pretended to have... He, made up, 8 different names, and he just blogged as all 8 people to make it look like he had employees. Like, he is a genius.
Bro's before his time, man.
He built
was before his time.
A sports empire from scratch, with his bare hands.
How do you even print a newspaper? Have you seen how big those sheets of paper are?
I have no idea. Where do you get them?
Sheets.
How do you get them?
Where do you even get that kind of paper? You ain't get it from Michael Scott.
No.
I mean, I guess you could. Not for the price you want.
And now he's worth $500 million. I would really want to hear, he just seems like one of the most down to earth, half a billionaire there is. He's just a dude's dude.
That's another dude. You get through that wall, and I mean, I feel like the world is yours. Like, you could know whatever you want to know about him. You know what I mean? Like, he's just a sharer. I don't know, man. I'd really like to just hang out with him for a day. Not even just even more than the podcast. Just get him on here, talk about what the people want to know, and then just get to know him. Just get to know what kind of dude he is. Because I feel like he's just a cool dude. Just for the boys kind of guy.
Yeah.
Dude, I was laughing so hard, bro. I was crying.
Yeah, you're number 5.
Oh, man, we're good. Talking about a dude who's never been caught cheating, on the books, maybe to the nerds, but Barry Bonds, he just did it the right way.
Never failed a
drug test. That's really all that matters to me. If you can pass a drug test, you're good as far as home run hitting comes. Because he still is probably the most walked human being of all time. I don't know, man. I feel like I just want to talk to him. I just honestly, not even a podcast. I just want a hitting session just to know what he does. I mean, for the Marlins to have him as a hitting coach at one point is incredible. And I still don't think they ever won the division, which is crazy. But I don't know. I feel like Barry Bonds would just be so cool to talk to. I feel like he's just a cool guy. I feel like he's made out to be this villain or this evil person. And I feel like he's just a ball player. He's just an ultimate hitter. Because I don't care how many steroids you take, you still have to be good at baseball to be good at baseball. It doesn't matter how strong you are. We knew that when we were 10 years old. It doesn't matter how strong you are to be good at baseball. So I still have a lot of respect for Barry Bonds, even though you nerds might not. But I think he'd be a really cool guy to talk to on a podcast.
Yeah, he's hands down the greatest baseball player of all time. He, regardless of how you feel 90% of that era was doing steroids, and none of them came close to doing what he was doing. Like if he was
No.
pitched to, like, you get in a rabbit hole in stats. You start looking at Barry Bonds' 01 season, his 04 season. Like one of them, if he wouldn't have carried a bat, his on base percentage would have been over 300. Like,
It's ridiculous.
it's stupid. He was literally walked at least once a game. But
That's crazy.
I'm with you. The GOAT.
I don't even know what I would ask him. Like, I mean, I would just want to talk to him. I just want to pick his brain. Maybe get in the cage. Like, I don't even know. I just feel like just picking his brain about how he thinks about hitting, I feel like would change the way I think about baseball. Like, it's just got to be so different. Because, I don't know, man. Like, you see Yelich, like a dude like Yelich, super talented. He's with the Marlins. He's popping off. He has 1 year with the Brewers where he really pops off, 1 year removed from the Marlins, and then he falls off. Like, I feel like that has to have something to do with it.
100%.
Like, having Barry Bonds in your corner makes you different. And I feel like having his knowledge would be awesome.
Yeah, he talks about how he was just kind of, an average, below average hitter, and then Barry taught him how to put backspin on the ball, and then he won the MVP. How do you teach somebody to hit the ball completely different from what they've been doing their entire life? And then it just becomes an MVP. And like you said, like 1 good year away from Barry, and then he's just kind of fallen off. He ain't the same guy.
Yeah. It's crazy. I feel like that kind of stuff, just to go on like one short tangent, like that kind of stuff in the MLB is huge for players. Like, think about like all the lefties you can think of that play with the Dodgers for like the past couple of years, like Bellinger, Jock Peterson, that bum that plays for the Red Sox now. Like they all hit the kind of the same. I don't know where their hitting coach went. I want to say they changed hitting coaches, and then like now they're all just kind of. And Jock Peterson maybe is probably the best right now out of them hitting wise. So it's like, which he's also probably the most veteran. But I feel like hitting coaches mean so much more than like people realize.
Yeah, a lot of times you get in a slump and you don't know how to fix it. Like having a guy there that can fix you basically is a cheat code.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm going with the most mentally tough guy on the planet. I'd love to sit down with David Goggins. The dude is just different. Like I think it was at like 24. He said something clicked. He goes to the Marines or whatever he was in, and he's too tough for them. They can't even break him. Everybody there hates him because of it. He just one day just gets up and he runs 100 miles. He's like pooping on himself and throwing up blood and full body cramps.
Shattered his feet.
And just kept going.
His feet dude's crazy, man.
He currently gives out the best quotes of anyone.
Yeah. Dude, anytime I'm feeling down, I actually just bought one of his books and currently reading it. And I mean, anytime I'm feeling down, I just look up David Goggins quotes and like it just gets me going. I don't know. He finds it's just something down deep in him that he found. I said the other day I'd like to go back and take a look at him or meet him when he was 23, 24, right before whatever. He talks about what flipped that switch for him, and I wish I could go back and see what he was like, because I feel like it might be something close to like how I feel when I'm down, and I just want to know what kind of flipped that switch for him. What turned him into like an absolute savage. I want to know what that feeling feels like, because I mean it's got to be incredible, because he's turned into one of the most impressive human beings of our era, like of our generation. So I don't know, man. That's a really good one. That would be a really good one to pick their brain.
Yeah, it would just be if this is the first time you're hearing of David Goggins or you haven't dove into him yet, just YouTube David Goggins clips. Like the one of him talking about running in the rain in the Marines, where he's just saying, "I wish it would rain." That's when I start taking souls. Like he's different.
He's crazy, man. The way when he talks about when he was going through Hell Week in the Marines, I can't remember if he was the one out west, like in San Diego, or if he was at like in Hilton Head or wherever that one is. But talking about eating those waves and carrying the boat on the beach and stuff, like he started leading his squad or whatever. And it's just crazy, man. He's just a all. I mean, he talks about how like an honor it is to be called a savage, and like he is a savage.
He is the savage.
Yeah,
just he's mentally tougher than everyone.
Oh yeah, he's crazy. He's a good one. Pretty close to a savage, but mostly behind a mic. Here is my sixth pick. I'm gonna go Jim Rome for mine.
I knew that's who you were talking about when you said savage.
Never been scared to speak his mind. He's not scared. He doesn't care who you are, and he's proved it. I can't remember the dude's name. He's a quarterback. Ultimate Story. I feel like I've told it on here before, but I can't remember that guy's name. But it doesn't matter. He's a quarterback in the NFL. You can look it up if you want, Jim Rome. But there's a video. He's doing this interview with this guy, and he calls the guy Chris. It was a famous tennis player. They had the same last name, and he calls him Chris. He calls the quarterback Chris like all the time. And then he gets him on for an interview, he calls him Chris, whatever his name. God, I can't remember his last name. And the quarterback's like, you know what, man, you've been doing that for a long time, and I'm kind of getting tired of it. But I bet you won't. I bet you won't say it again to my face. And he's like, hey, man, this is the first segment on a 3-segment show. We got a lot of time. And he's like, yeah, but I bet you won't, man, because I'm right here. And he goes, oh, yeah, we'll see about that. Kind of sinks back in his chair. Chris, quarterback gets up, rips his table back, pins him down. All the crew runs in, dude. He don't care. And you know what happened to that guy? He ain't playing no more. You know what Jim Rome's doing? He's got a show on CBS Sports broadcasting across the nation. Okay? Savage. He's a savage. Doesn't care. He didn't care what you think. And he's got one of the most legendary voices that only Frank Caliendo can impersonate. And it's awesome.
He makes way more money than what you would think.
Oh yeah, he's loaded.
Like I think he's the highest paid like sports broadcaster or whatever his job description would be, but he makes bank.
Yeah, sports radio. Yeah, he's so rich he owns like horses like that race. Like he owns like racing horses. Like that's money.
Going to watch those horses like at the Kentucky Derby, that's money. Owning one of the horses is like that puts you in like the top 1% on the planet.
Yeah, dude. He's rich, buddy. And I feel like he would just be a cool dude. He's like a California guy. He's from California. Like he's like kind of came up from I don't know if he came up from nothing, but he like started in college, like worked his way up in the radio industry, and he'd be a cool guy to kind of pick his brain on sports, and he's been around for a while. I feel like there's a lot of radio guys that would be cool to talk to.
Yeah. My number 6 is going to be Rob Dyrdek. I just love this guy. Like Robin Big and Fantasy Factory, some of the greatest television there is. Like I got in a TikTok algorithm where I see some Robin Big clips, and it just makes me like almost teary-eyed. Like I just miss that show. I wish somebody would post it. I wonder if anybody is streaming it. If they are, somebody let me know, because I will.
Robin Big?
Yeah, I'll just start rewatching them like today.
That is a good one. That's a really good one. He's I mean the monopoly he has on MTV is crazy too.
It's just him.
Ridiculousness.
It's always ridiculous. It's just him on MTV.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous
it's
for a while
just
now.
Him. That's it.
They don't even play music
It's
anymore.
incredible. No, just him.
It's just ridiculous. Like, he has to be taping thousands of ridiculousness.
If you would have asked me in 2010 who would have won that business, Daniel Tosh, or him, I would have said Daniel Tosh by a million. Guess who still shows? Rob Dyrdek.
Dyrdek can't kill him.
Can't kill him. Can't get rid of him. Next for me is a personal hero as well. I'm staying true to my brand here. Another short king. He's got a lot of dog in him. That's really the only way I can explain him. It's Taylor Heineke. I mean, he's just got something about him. His teammates rally around him, and you're gonna tell me you wouldn't want to talk to this guy? Like, this dude is incredible. You know, he's bouncing around the league. He plays at Old Dominion, smaller school. It's where Justin Verlander went. So, you know, anything's possible. He kind of bounces around the league as like an undrafted free agent. I know he played with like the Vikings and I want to say like the Giants maybe and somebody else random. But then he ends up, you know, I think with the Redskins at the time. You know, then they changed the football team. And they meet up. You know, the quarterback's in front of him. He was the backup to the back of his third string. Meets up with Tom Brady in the first round of the playoffs. Almost gets him. Almost keeps him from his last Super Bowl, which would have been awesome. I mean, he's just got that dog in him. He's just that dude. And he comes in. He doesn't do anything special. He's not good at throwing it. He's not good at running it. He's just smart. He's just a winner. He's like if Jalen Hurts really wasn't that good.
That's a perfect description. Smaller.
You know, he's just got that dog in him. He just leads the team. He loves wearing Jordans on his feet. You know, he's like Miley, in a way. And I don't know, man. I just like him. I like his vibe.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I'm going for my number 7. I'm going to take, just because he would be hilarious on here, I'm taking Charles Barkley. He makes me laugh so hard. He's one of the best on TV right now. Plus, he's an Auburn dude, Alabama kid. So I'd like to have him on. Talked about buying gas with him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he would be a good talk anytime. Doesn't matter from the airport to I don't know, like the next stall over. You know what I mean? Like at a basketball game. You know, fun fact though, me and him have been on the same airplane.
Really?
He I can't remember where we were. We were somewhere random. We were like going from I can't remember if we were in Phoenix. I think we were in Atlanta going to Phoenix. We were going out to the national championship that I'll never talk about ever again on the show. And he flew on that plane and he took up 2 first class seats to himself. He folded up that armchair like this and sat in the middle because he was so big. He just kind of sat like this. And everybody was saying hey to him when we walked on. It was super cool, and he was super nice to everybody. It was really cool to see. Because I feel like when most celebrities like fly, you know, commercial, they're all kind of jerks or like don't talk to anybody. And everybody was like, Chuck, hey, what's up? You know, War Eagle, man, what's going on? I'm like, hey, what's up? And he was like, hey, man, War Eagle, yeah, hey, man, how's it going? I hope you have a good day, man. It was awesome. He was super cool. Talked to everybody. Of course, I just gave him the nod. I didn't want to be too weird, so I just gave him a hey, what's up?
He
cool. Yeah.
Plus, if you've ever heard, he's another guy. He just says what he wants. It's completely unfiltered. He doesn't have that, you know, muzzle on that a lot of the people do. He hates Skip Bayless. Like, he has said several times, put me in the room with Skip Bayless, and even you wouldn't even be able to test him, see whose DNA that was by the time I left him. Just absolutely ruthless.
Keep going. Keep going. My computer died.
Okay.
We're good. We're good.
All right. You're number 8.
Yeah. Number 8. This is a guy that I feel like is like somewhere in the same category as Chuck. He just kind of speaks his mind, does what he wants, and he's a lot of really good one-liners. It's Marshawn Lynch. I mean, the dude is just for the city of Oakland. If he ain't for the city of Oakland, he ain't for nobody. And I feel like that's how Chuck is about, Auburn. I know Chuck's not from Auburn, but that's just how I feel like he claims it. So, I don't know, man. I feel like he'd just be a really good, entertaining podcast. Like, you could kind of ask him anything you wanted to, and he'd probably tell you some kind of good answer as long as you're not at a Super Bowl, mandatory press conference.
Yeah, he'd have to be here under his own will. If not, you'll just get the I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Facts.
But two of my favorite Marshawn Lynch stories. The first one is just the Skittles commercial in Scotland. Unbelievably funny. The second one, like you said, he's down for Oakland regardless. Do you remember when he fought his own teammate because he was trying to fight a guy from Oakland? Where they get into a scuffle and he fights his own teammate because the dude on the other team was from Oakland. And he was like, no. Like, Oakland runs deeper than the team he's currently playing for.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I mean, there's only probably one dude that's down for a city more than him. It's Meek Mill. But, I mean, that's it.
Drake. Maybe.
But, like, I feel like Drake claims a lot of cities.
Drake does
Meek
bounce.
Mill.
Drake does bounce.
Meek Mill is Philly.
Wait.
And
Pitbull. Mr. 305.
Mr. 305, yeah. Yeah, he is the zip code. I will say that.
It's those are the top 3, though.
Yeah.
Maybe
for sure.
Spike Lee, New York.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, that's a pretty good one. I would probably say there's like a category of 5, and Marshawn Lynch is in there. He's not 5th, or he's definitely not 6th. I would probably say that Drake is probably 6th. I'd probably say that fit pretty well.
Yeah, C-Scott Block Boy, C-Scott Block Boy. You got...
That's right.
My number 8, the Sandman, Adam Sandler. The dude's just kept it 10 toes down for the homies. If you were close with Adam Sandler, you're in a movie. He's keeping the boys fed, keeping the food on the plate, and he just keeps on putting out hits. Plus, he's in the greatest movie ever, like, composed, and it's Big Daddy. He is the guy in that movie. So I'll forever be grateful for that one.
He's another good one, man. He really is for the boys. Like, you're fed if you're boys with Adam Sandler. Straight up. No way around it. Dude's goated. That's a really good one. He I feel like he produces a lot of good movies, and he's in a lot of good stuff. And that singing phase he had, where he'd come out with like the Lunch Lady song, and I mean, he's just
Joe,
good, man. He's Sloppy Joe. I don't know, man. He's good. He's a classic. I mean, Happy Gilmore is an all-time great. The one
Water
you just
Boy,
said,
Big Daddy.
I mean, Waterboy, Big Daddy. I mean, even the one he did with Adam Sandberg or Andy Samberg. That's My Boy. Like, low key hilarious.
There was a little stretch, 5-year stretch, where everything he put out was a banger. Billy Madison.
Yeah, Billy Madison's great. I mean, he don't miss much. He missed the only one that I don't like that he did was Jack and Jill, but I mean that's it. Out of like 20 films.
Yeah, that's fair. You're going to shoot and miss sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. Nobody bets 1,000.
No.
So, I mean, it's totally respectable, but you can't hate it. Can't hate him for it. I think my eighth is going to be Steve Carell. This is a guy that um, I just love him, man. I love everything he's in, from, you know, 40-year-old version to The Office to um, Crazy Stupid Love. Like, he can just do it all. He has so much range. He can be a boss in an office and be hilarious, and then tone it down in that same office and also be hilarious. You know, it's like after the first season, they were like, "Hey, man, let's reel it in." He was like, "Okay, yeah, I got you." Reels it in, does perfect. He's an anchor man, awesome. You know, perfect side character. He's not even a side character kind of guy. He's a main character guy. Side character perfectly. So I don't know, man. I think he's another guy that would be awesome just to kind of see what he's like in real life. Yeah, I feel like a lot of these actors, we know him for the roles that they play, and he's definitely one of those guys. And I just would want to kind of chat with him, just see what he's really like, see how funny he really is. Because I feel like he'd be hilarious.
Yeah, he is Michael Scott to me, and like,
Yeah,
that's it. Like the Office fell off hard whenever he left. They did everything they could to keep it going, but without him, it wasn't the same.
yeah, for sure.
My number
For
9
sure.
is I love this dude. It's Bruce Pearl. Like, he's just reborn, the rebirth of Auburn basketball. He is another dude. He slid into Auburn and he's just like made it home. He's just my ideal coach. Like, if I could clone him and get him to coach all 3 sports, I would, because he's just super lovable, good dude, and he's winning. Like, if you ever get a chance to listen to him doing an interview or on a podcast, he's great. He's got to be one of the
He's
best
good.
guys on the planet.
He's good. He's hard to hate, man. Like, you just want to like him.
Especially for you, he keeps it down for the Jewish community.
I mean,
like, he reps the Jewish community hard.
Oh, for sure. And, you know, like, I really want to double hate him. Like, he was at Tennessee, built it up to, like, where they were like a SEC juggernaut, you know, and then, you know, whatever happened. And then he comes to Auburn, who's like, you know, Tennessee's like the second rival. Auburn's the first rival. And it's like, I hate this guy. I wish this guy would just go away. But, like, you can't. He's that dude, you know? Like, he's just a good dude. It's like, you know, it's like actually hating, like, I mean, I don't even know who's just a super likable. Like, I feel like a lot of people hate Nick Saban, but, like, I feel like at the same time, it's like, it's hard to hate Nick Saban. Like, I feel like he's a good dude. Sometimes he does shady stuff, but I feel like for the most part, he's like down for just like the development of men. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to think of another guy. I feel like Kirby Smart's another guy that's like hard to hate. Like, I hate Kirby Smart because he's at Georgia and he's doing good, but, like, you hear him talk and it's like, yeah, man, he's got a good point, man. We're here to, like, I can't hate the dude for anything. Yeah, Mark Richt, I don't know.
He was hard to hate.
He's somewhere in the middle.
Tebow.
But who? Tebow? Yeah. Tebow's a good one. But no, Bruce Pearl's good. I personally, it's a daily struggle with Bruce Pearl because I just hate Auburn. But I mean, that's just in me. You know what I mean? My blood's crimson. So, but I can't personally, I would love to meet the guy. Like, I would love to shake his hand and kind of pick his brain as a competitor because he's a cool dude.
So we actually went to Auburn versus Tennessee I guess 2010. He was still at Tennessee. We stayed in this nice hotel, and we actually ate breakfast like 2 tables from him. It was like him, Pat Summitt, and some other high-ups at Tennessee. It was awesome.
Dude, like, Pat Summitt?
2 just legends sitting there.
Pat Summitt is sick. That's cool.
Yeah.
She's cool. She'd be another one. She'd be another competitor. You just want to pick her brain. Like, just see what she think. Like, how they tick. You know what I mean? Like, that would be awesome. Figure out their why. But, another guy I'd like to figure out is why.
This is your number
Who?
10, so this is it.
Oh yeah, number 10. This is it. I kind of have a split, but the first guy, I really want to figure out his why. You know what drives him, because he's just one of the best to do it. Is Tommy Smokes, but also tied with Tommy Smokes is probably his twin, and I sometimes think they're the same person. It's Kelly Keegs. They both work for Barstool. If you don't know, both really funny people. I think Tommy Smokes is probably a little bit funnier, but Kelly Keegs is also equally funny, I would say, in her own kind of way. But, you know, Tommy Smokes is just that dude. He's that guy. He's the only guy to make an appearance in the girls' room with Kelly Keegs and Rhea. I think that says a lot about his personality, of how likable he is. I think he'd be hilarious to have on a podcast that's not Barstool, so you can really just pick his brain. Just get in there. What are you thinking, Tommy? What do you like to eat for dinner on a daily basis? You know what I mean? What's your favorite ramen packet? Do you even eat ramen? Like, that's what I want to know. I want to get into those details. I want to see what you're about. What's it like living in New York City? What subway do you take? What's your go-to Chick-fil-A sauce? You know, it's just simple things that I want to know. And I feel like he could answer all those questions. And equally with Kelly Keegs, I feel like she would answer those questions as well. I think she'd be really cool to interview. So that's just a really good list of all of my heroes there. And I think those are two great people to end it with.
Yeah, you stayed true to yourself. There's really nobody missing off of this list that I expected you to have. Yeah, I'm a huge Tommy Smokes guy too. Not as much of a Kelly Keegs fan as you are, but Tommy Smokes does it for me. Like the awkward humor, that gets me. He is.
It's great.
His latest was he went to the Lakers versus Knicks game. He got there way before anyone else, and he recorded himself, and then it's like sitting in the stands and like waving, and then he ended up editing it into make it look like he was on the big screen at the game and posted it. And so many people fell for this, thinking that it was real. He's just, his brain ticks different. He's completely cool with making fun of himself, and I love that.
It's great, man. If you can laugh at yourself, you're my friend.
Yeah,
And
he
he does
take
it better
himself
than
too
anybody
seriously.
else.
He knows
No,
who
not
he
at
is.
all, man. Stays in his roots. I like it.
My number 10, this dude probably has the most stories out of everyone. It's Vince McMahon. He, built the WWE up. He's probably got just so many stories, and I feel like he plays the character Vince McMahon, but I feel like all the stuff behind the scenes nothing has ever really leaked from behind the scenes of WWE, and he would have so many stories about things that, like, did Bret Hart punch him after the Montreal screw job? What were you thinking when Owen Hart died and you just kept the pay-per-view going? Like, so many different things of just like, this guy is crazy. Like, he's just wired
Crazy.
different. All he sees is money signs, and one of the best businessmen in the world.
Things start going weird. He bulks up and joins the fight. Like, he's out there wrestling dudes. It's like, as an 8-year-old me was just pumped when I saw that man come out there in a tank top. You know what I mean? It's like,
With the straight
what is
leg and
going
strut.
on? You're pulling JBL from the commentator booth out into the ring. What's going on? You know what I mean? Like, that dude's way too old to be out there, and he's out there in a little whitey tighties that's black, with some knee pads on, wrestling dudes, and I like it.
And he was just
So it's like,
he was just married the whole time, and he would just always set himself up with these like scenarios. Like, he's writing this stuff or helping write this stuff for this, and he's like having Stacy Keibler like dance on a table and right in front of him, or he's having like Trish Stratus pretend to undress in front of him. It's like, why does your mind do that?
it's
Like, you're just picking the two hottest
entertainment,
girls
like,
in the business, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna make them my pretend, lovers. Like, okay,
it's that Riz. It's that Riz.
the billionaire
I mean,
is. That's what he's got.
It's that billionaire Riz. I don't know, man. It'd be cool to be a billionaire. I feel like any billionaire's got some kind of riz,
Elon.
but I don't know. He don't really got that much riz. I would say he's just kind
Well,
of
he might
Elon.
because he sounds like he's hooking up. I mean, wasn't he like? Never mind. We're not even going to go down this road.
Yeah, that's right. This is a family
Honorable
pod.
mentions. Honorable mentions.
Yeah, let's get to it. First honorable mention for me. I don't know if he'd be like first off the list. First one comes to mind, Gordon Ramsay. Chef. I just really want to ask him a couple things about some recipes. That's really all what I'd want to ask him about.
Yeah, was that the only one you had?
Chuck was one for me. I'm trying to think of some other dudes. Ovechkin would be one. A-Rod, Frank Thomas, Freddie Freeman, Freddie Freeman's agent,
The fired one.
the fired one.
He should have been on ours. We need him on the pod. I'd like to get to the bottom of that. Come defend yourself.
I would like to
on
know
the
the
pod.
truth. Yeah, especially this one. The huge following we have. I mean,
Yeah.
How many? I mean, if you want to get the story out, you come through us.
100%.
Rey Mysterio would be a good one. He's just so mysterious.
He's mysterious.
There's a couple others. I can't.
I had Dion, Dale Earnhardt Jr.,
Good one.
Johnny Knoxville. I also had Theo Vaughn
Good one.
and Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Dog the Bounty Hunter would be a good one. Yeah, I was trying to think of some like TV personalities but I can't. I'm just drawing blanks. Like Honey Boo Boo's mom, maybe.
The whole cast of
Would be
Jersey
cool.
Shore.
Whole cast, all at once.
I couldn't just pick one.
No.
If you had to pick
Yeah,
one, who would you pick?
I mean, my favorite is DJ Pauly D.
Yeah. I'd go
or
either
Vinny.
Pauly D or Vinny, yeah. What about girls?
Girls, I mean, if we're going for clicks, I'd probably get Snooki. I'd probably get the meatballs, honestly. I'd get Snooki and
Dina.
that other girl, Dina. And, if I wanted to fight somebody, I'd probably call JWoww.
Or have somebody to look at.
And then if I wanted somebody to take a date, I'd take Sammy Sweetheart. But she's not even really involved with them anymore. She's not on the show anymore. So that kind of hurts. But yeah, no, if I could hang out with anybody, it'd be Vinny and DJ Pauly D. I feel like they're actually like cool people. And like, not that Ronnie and the situation's not cool, but I just feel like DJ Pauly D would be a cool hangout.
We didn't even mention.
Yeah, I was looking at that.
YouTube.
Dude. I like that. I like that a lot.
The kid, Ken Griffey, pretty sweet.
I like that a lot.
But that's all I've got. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, this is a good one. This is a good one to flex the brain at, like just to sit there and think, like, who would I really want to talk to? Who are my true heroes that I would want to pick their brain and see what they think, see how they think, what makes them go, what makes them get out of the bed each morning. That's what I would want to know. I wouldn't ask Barry Bonds about steroids. I would ask him, where did he get it? Where did they get him from? I wouldn't ask him where he put it in. You know what I mean? What kind were you taking? We get into the real details. Ask him what kind of bats was he using. How did he feel when Sammy Sosa got caught with a cork bat? That's real cheating. Let's talk about that. I want to get his take on that kind of stuff.
Or how
Spider tag.
How big of a jerk was Jeff Kent?
Yeah. Things I want to know. I don't care if he did steroids or not. I just want to know where he put them. Who did he get them from? Did he get them from anybody? He could have produced them himself. But he never tested positive, so I guess we'll never know.
All right.
For all you haters.
I love you guys.